Good evening, I'm Bo Williams, and welcome to The 7. Let's get a look at the big 7 stories happening right now. And topping the list, Governor Bill Lee taking his pitch for statewide school vouchers to Knoxville. Tonight, we're hearing a mix of responses. Governor Lee wants Tennessee's school voucher pilot program to extend to all corners of the state beyond the 3 counties currently giving it a try. Now, he rolled out the proposal yesterday in Nashville. Today, he took the idea on the road, visiting Emerald Academy here in Knoxville, currently Knox County's only charter school, and you're looking at video the governor's office shared with us, showing Lee visiting classrooms and speaking with students. Dubbed the Education Freedom Scholarship Act of 2024, it would let parents use around $7,000 of state tax money to pay for private school tuition, uniforms, textbooks, transportation, tutoring, and more. Now, concerns we heard today range from who benefits to a level of uncertainty on the level of involvement state government should have in the classroom.
Seems like we're going in a different direction than what we've said that we want in the state legislature about what type of books children are exposed to, what's being taught. You know, the critical race theory was an issue. The legislature said we don't want that taught in our public schools. Will that be taught in the private schools?
Most of the people that would benefit from vouchers are people whose children are already in private school. So they can already afford their kids to go to private school. They're just going to get some of their money back, I guess, or get a discount.
But if you look at the top 10 schools in Knox County private schools, $7,000 won't pay for most of their tuition, let alone transportation to get there, how we're going to feed those students, and all those ancillary things.
I want every one of them to be success, not just the ones that can afford to go to a private school with a voucher. I want all of those students, the ones that sleep in a car at night, the ones that don't have food, the ones that we buy shoes for. All of those students deserve the same support that these other students get.
Now, on the other side of the argument, proponents argue that the amount involved is still a hefty sum, and the freedom to pick a better school or the right school is something a number of parents find very appealing.
You have families that we've talked to that said, hey, we're going to have to borrow money or mortgage the house because we want to send our kids to a private school that we can't afford. And so limiting a parent's ability based on income and thinking that we can do just a little bit for the lowest income people. Everybody needs help.
The most important statistic there is 91% of the parents that have enrolled in the Education Savings Account program 1 year later are satisfied and pleased with the educational outcomes for their children.
If lawmakers approve, well, the program would expand statewide in the 2024-25 school year with a limited enrollment of 20,000 students. Now, Lee's plan would cover all Tennessee students in the following school year, with priority given to current students and low-income families if demand goes beyond the available funding. Now, we asked Knox County schools about the governor's announcement, and Superintendent John Reiswick said in a statement, quote, "Our educators and staff work extremely hard every day to improve academic outcomes for students, and we're proud of the impact we're making. We are committed to providing a high-quality education for all students, and we feel confident that our families recognize this commitment and will continue to choose Knox County schools," end quote. Next in our Big 7 list, a first look at the side of a shooting that is under investigation. Now, we brought this to you as breaking news over the last 90 minutes or so. A man taken to the hospital with what the Knox County Sheriff's Office calls life-threatening injuries. Deputies were called to the 6400 block of Old Maynardville Pike. That call coming in around 3:45. This is new video just into the 6 on Your Side newsroom, and we can see investigators still working the scene tonight. Deputies found the victim, a man with gunshot wounds. They're calling this an isolated, targeted attack, but they cannot offer a description of any suspects so far. Of course, we're going to stay on top of this, and we're going to keep you posted. Another big issue for some of you today, going without power in the cold. Tonight, we're hearing that the power is back on again for people in Dandridge and around Jefferson County after an unexpected power outage that happened earlier this morning. Now, this is according to Appalachian Electric Cooperative. This widespread event created impacts for both schools and traffic signals throughout the area, forcing schools to close. Now, AEC says that both Dandridge and Piedmont substation switches failed. We spoke with Nikki Jones about her experience with the outage as she tried to feed her 5-month-old.
I woke up at 6:30 to make his bottle and the power was out. I called my husband immediately because I was freaking out. And he said that the power was on when he left here, so I know it had just went out.
Joan says after talking with her husband, she decided to light multiple candles and bundle up with some blankets. And we need to point out, some people may lose power this weekend, but the upcoming outage for them is planned. TVA says it needs to conduct maintenance on the power system affecting all Jellicoe utility customers. You can expect that to start Saturday night, December 2nd, around 10 o'clock, lasting until Sunday morning, December 3rd, again, until about 8 a.m. So keep that in mind if you're in the Jellicoe area. And with the cold weather, we want to make sure that you know about an area warming center. We showed it to you last night at 11. It's at First Baptist Maryville. The facility opens when outdoor temperatures drop below 25 degrees, and it was certainly cold enough last night. But all right, Ken, thank you very much. Our Big 7 list rolls on now with communities relaxing fire restrictions. The Great Smoky Mountains National Park officially lifting its burn ban. Fire danger does remain high, though, throughout the park due to drought. However, cooler temperatures along with shorter days will permit for campfires to resume. Officials want those that decide to camp and light fires to do so, though, in designated areas and make sure to put out the fire afterward, going so far as to ensure that the ashes are cold to the touch before you consider it fully out. And Sevier County also lifting burn bans today, allowing for recreational fires like warming fires and small campfires to be built, with conditions improving from earlier in the month. But the risk has not fully disappeared. Sevier County Fire and Rescue Chief David Puckett still urging everyone to be careful when burning.
We are still in our fire season, our fall season, which goes from October 15th to May 15th. And burn permits are still done on a daily basis based on the current fire danger or fire rating of that day. So like today, debris burns are still prohibited due to a little bit of a higher fire elevation.
Sevier County government offering more advice if people do decide to burn. Don't do so on windy days. Keep an eye on the weather and keep equipment close at hand to contain a fire. We're talking things like a rake, shovel, or water. Big lawsuit makes the next slot in our Big 7 story list for you tonight. A group of Tennessee voters just filed a federal lawsuit against a new state voting law. The League of Women Voters of Tennessee, along with former Knoxville Mayor Victor Ashe, are challenging a new law that requires election officials to place a sign at every polling place warning voters in bolded language that to vote in a party's primary, they must be a, quote, bona fide member of or declare allegiance to a party or else face criminal prosecution. Now, the law says the language of the sign is based on a Tennessee law that has been in effect for more than 50 years, but never really enforced. The League of Women Voters says that's confusing and intimidating for voters and may even keep people from exercising their right to vote. Debbie Gold, the president of the League of Women Voters of Tennessee, tells us they filed this suit because, quote, this new law will have a chilling effect on Tennesseans exercising their right to vote and creates unnecessary confusion for voters. She continued saying that all voters should feel confident in their right to vote. Well, another big lawsuit pits billionaire versus billionaire. Tonight, legendary investor Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway company is accusing the Haslam family of trying to bribe executives. This goes back to the deal for Berkshire Hathaway to buy a larger stake in the Pilot truck stop chain from the Haslams. Now, last month, we told you how the Haslams were suing Berkshire Hathaway, claiming it was changing auditing practices to cut the amount it was paying to the Haslams. Now, Berkshire Hathaway firing back, according to the Associated Press, saying Jimmy Haslam offered bonuses to 15 Pilot execs during a March dinner at a country club if they would overstate company profits, raising the price of the buyout. Now, there's no response yet from the Haslam family. A hearing on the case is set for tomorrow.